Well, these trucks are each 28 years old, and when they get that old, there's a lot of things that start to go wrong with them. And one of the things that I'm on to now with this truck, this Ford, is problems with the dome lights. That's kind of an unusual problem to have. Not so much on a car, but on a truck it's kind of unusual because they're pretty simple. There's not a ton of wiring in them. But this one, it's got issues. So let me show you what's up. So it's 4 doors, and it's got a dome light switch on each door. I have them out. This is wiring to them. It's typical. There's a circuit for the rears and there's a circuit for the front, and this is the switch that goes in there. And so the problem is that they only work on one side, one door. So if I open the right front door up, I have dome lights. I'm not going to demonstrate it. I think I have the battery unhooked, but take my word for it. You open the right front door, you got a dome light. Any other door, right rear, left front, left rear, you don't have any dome lights. So you can turn the dome lights on with a switch, and that works. So we know the dome light does work. So I started doing some digging. Got my meter out, and the way this dome light circuit operates, of course you have manual override with a switch up there, and then otherwise it's got it has power to it at all times. So that comes through the fuse box. In this truck it's fuse number 8, which is up here. It's a 15 amp fuse, and the it's probably not going to try to even show you everything on this, but if you come in the schematic in there, number 8 is courtesy, electric mirrors, radio clock memory, speedometer, warning, sun visor mirror illumination. So that's what's all in that circuit. So that's the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to take this. I have it pulled out so I can do some testing, but this plug here that goes in the door jamb, it should have 12 volts, constant 12 volts to one of the pins on it. There's 3 wires in it, so one of them's hot. I think it's the yellow with the green with the yellow tracer is the hot, and then this red one is the feed to the door chime. So if you open the door, then it powers that, and then the last one, I think it's a blue, is the feed to this one feeds 12 volts through the switch to the lamp. So if there's no voltage, at the switch, then obviously there's not going to be any at the lamp. So these are all dead, and I can't explain to you why only the right side, right front works. It must just be because of the way the circuit is laid out, because it's not, I'm pretty good at wiring, but it's kind of interesting how that works. It's got a branch or whatever goes through the glove box, I think. I'm not sure this one has that, but let's not get off in a rabbit hole. So I tested all 3 of these in all 3 switches. Left front, left rear, right rear, they're all dead. If I had a power probe, I'm confident that I could probably get the dome light to work by probing, putting power to the plug down here. So anyway, I got thinking about that, you know, and I thought, well, you know, let's not assume anything. Let's just try to get what evidence we have here and go with that. But you know, I thought, well, that's pretty, you know, one not working, that's not that unusual, but 3 of them at one time not working, something is really up there. You know, that ought to be pretty obvious. So I really wasn't getting anywhere. I went and spent some time last night just Googling around and looking at some schematics and things like that, and I just happened to find a post on an internet forum for these kind of trucks that described that exact same problem. You had right front door, worked the dome light, any of the others didn't, it was all dead. And so they pointed me, I think, in the right direction, which I would have never looked. Now that I'm been tipped off about it, I'm suspicious of it, it would make sense. But believe that our problem is going to lie right in here. So this this wiring harness probably has several things in it, but it may have a splice in it here that could be our culprit. So I'm going to take I'm going to do it off camera. Nobody likes to spend time watching somebody slice wiring open, but I'm going to slice the covering off this, and then I'll bring you back before I do any kind of exploratory stuff here. But you know, this is a bad idea. Ford, of course, this truck is old. It's not this one behind me is the same age, but it was designed much later than this one actually was. This one goes all the way back to 80, and I guess back then they thought it was going to be a good idea to have this big channel down here and then run the wiring through. This wiring was attached there to the floor with some clips, so it's never been out. Doesn't look like it's ever been disturbed. But the problem here is that with this wiring all the way down in this trough down in here, this thing was packed full of mud, and it was wet and all that kind of stuff going on. It's going to have to actually be repaired. I've just simply tried to stop the rust on it for a little while, but I'm not going to fix that yet. But anyway, so now that I've known about this, I'm deeply suspicious. So what I do now is I'm going to, after I put the floor cover back in, of course, let me do this, let me cut this wiring apart. We're going to slice it from probably right up here. It's got another holder in it right there. I was trying to save these holders, but let me cut that all out. We'll see what we got going on here. Oh boy, oh boy. Where are you, Erico? Look what I found. I was unwrapping the tape on this. You know what's in here. You know exactly what's in here. Absolutely. The green Cresties. Even in Tennessee. Look at that. Now we all know from watching Erico, from watching Watch Wes, that when we see this coming up, when we unwrap wiring, and we see this stuff coming out of it, there's probably going to be a good opportunity to say, "There's your problem, lady." So this is what I was tipped off about. It sounds like I've been doing like some work for the FBI or something. Like I had an informant, but I was tipped off that there was a splice in here, which I said, I think. That's it. So let's get right in here. Let's get right in here nice and deep like, as I say. I'm going to put my light up, hopefully, for you. Alright, so that's the splice right here. Oh yeah, that wasn't hard at all. That's a classic move right there. When you do that. Man, that was made for YouTube. That's it. That's your splice right there. This is the so I will confess I don't exactly have full knowledge of how this works here, but there's how many wires in here? 4 wires in this harness coming downstream here from up here. Up there somewhere, and it turns into 2. So why the 2 being disconnected would cause the first 2, the left, not to work. I'm not sure why that would be, but boy, that's it right there. Well, that's all she wrote there, I guess. So I'm gonna unwrap a little bit more up here just to see, but that's what it was, because this thing why it does it is this sits in water and moisture, and that just gets it. That was a poor idea. See these here. The rest of the wires look okay. Yeah, buddy. That was made for YouTube. Okay, so I don't know if it's even gonna be worth trying to. This is man, oh man, look at that. Try to disassemble the splice. I don't think so. I'm just gonna cut it out. So. Okay, all right. Come back in a bit. Okay, I noticed something here when I was working on these wires. I took all these apart, and there was the 4 that are coming from up front up here. One of these wires is larger gauge than the other 3. So that tells me that this is the 12 volt hot from the fuse box. And so these are probably going out to where, well, have to look at the diagram, I guess, but you probably got 3 going back, and then that way, and then 2 going this way, so you got to be careful of that. What I was about to do is I was about to do just 2 and 2, you know, 1 to each of these, or 2 to each of these wires here. Hook them up that way. That's not going to work. If that's the power, that means you're going to still, that just won't work. You need to have these all probably tied together, and then have them tied to these back here. So that's the way I would do it. We'll try that, see if it works. Well then, I repaired that wiring, soldered it all up, heat shrinked it, and then I'm going to go back and do some more sealing with it and wrap it up again. And now, I have my dome lights back. Right there. And close quarters. I even work with the rears. So that's all it is. That's basically it. If you have dome lights on these and they suddenly go out, or rather your dome lights suddenly go out, then don't go down a rabbit hole with this, looking, you know, check the fuse of course, but then, you know, there's no real reason to go thinking it's something worse than it is. It's probably just this splice that was down here in the rocker panel trough here where it got all the rain. You know, that's that wasn't too smart to have your wet feet coming in out right here, and this is all there is on one of these. There's just a pad, and this thing here, you know, I don't know, you know, you got the seal plate that goes over it. That doesn't do any good because everything just goes, you know, it's open, so any kind of water right here just goes right down in here, and there's no way for it to get out. There's no drains in it, so it just collected up and it just corroded it up. So first thing to check on these, past the fuses and maybe the switches themselves being stuck in, is see if you got the green crusties in here. Alright everybody, take care. Hope this helped you. See ya.